Welcome back, Warner fam. Today, I'm diving into the 2023 thriller drama The End We Start From, a terrifying and gripping film about survival when the world around you falls apart. Stay close, keep your eyes wide open, and stay safe as we unravel this dark story. The film begins on a dreary, rainy day. We meet the protagonist, a pregnant woman sitting at home. She's chatting with her husband on the phone, asking him to bring home a can of tuna. As she talks, she tells him how their neighbors packed up and left the moment the rain started. She laughs it off, but you can hear the unease in her voice. Her husband reassures her, it's just rain, not a hurricane. But as the day drags on, the rain doesn't stop. It only gets worse. Soon, the power cuts out, and she notices water seeping through the front door. She races to block it, but the water keeps pouring in, flooding the house. Panic sets in as the rain falls harder, and she's feeling sick. Her labor begins. She calls her husband. His phone is off. Then she tries dialing an ambulance, but the lines are busy. Everything is spiraling. Suddenly, the pressure of the water shatters the windows. The entire house begins to flood. It's chaos, and she's alone with no one to help. The next scene picks up with the protagonist in a hospital, holding her newborn son. After the terrifying flood, she's finally safe. Her husband rushes in, his face lighting up with joy when he sees the baby. Overcome with emotion, he suggests they name him Z, but there's no time to relax. Their home, like many others, was swallowed by the flood. The husband, desperate for a place to stay, decides they should move in with his family. The whole street is underwater, and their house is gone. The journey is long and tense. They're stuck in heavy traffic listening to the radio. News reports flood the airwaves, describing the massive damage from the hurricane. Some cities that weren't hit as hard are now locked down, only allowing residents inside. It's a world turned upside down, and it feels like the nightmare is just beginning. They finally reach the city where the father's family lives, one of the places locked down due to the hurricane. The guards stop them from entering, saying it's off limits. The father argues, telling the guard this is his hometown, where he grew up, where his whole life was built. The mother steps in, gently calming him down. She begs the guard to let them in for the sake of their newborn Z. After a long pause, the guard finally gives in, and they are allowed to enter. The father's family greets baby Z with open arms, their faces filled with joy. But things aren't perfect. The grandfather, upset and bitter, lashes out at Z's father. He reminds him of all the times he warned them about the storm and begged them to come live with him. But they had refused, too tied up in work to listen. Now, after everything has fallen apart, they've come crawling back. The grandmother, more patient, prepares a meal and insists the mother eat. She says, "You must be starving, just like after you gave birth." It's a strange kind of comfort, but a comfort nonetheless. One day, a neighbor arrives at the house, crying and desperate for food. She explains that her son hasn't come back home yet, and she's terrified he got caught in the hurricane. There's been no word from him, and no one knows if he's safe. Everyone tries to keep going, living in peace for the next 3 months, but the food supply starts running low, and the rain shows no sign of stopping. Then, a news report announces that the government will be handing out food in certain areas. Z's father, with his family, decides to go out and get supplies, leaving the mother and child behind at home. Days turn into a week, and the mother grows more worried about how long they've been gone. She can't shake the feeling that something's wrong. One night, as she's sitting alone, she hears a noise outside. To her surprise, she finds a man and his son, both looking hungry and desperate. She invites them inside and offers them the food she's saved for herself. She tells them her family will be home soon and that they can't stay. The man nods, takes his son by the hand, and leaves without a word. The next day, baby Z cries nonstop. The mother feels helpless, overwhelmed by the silence of her in-law's absence and her own inability to calm her baby. She can't take it anymore and steps outside into the garden. There, she breaks down, tears streaming down her face. After a moment, she pulls herself together, walks back inside, and apologizes to Z before finally soothing him to sleep. Soon, Z's father's car pulls up, and the mother rushes outside, overjoyed to see them. But her smile fades as she sees the condition they're in. They're covered in cuts and bruises. The most shocking part? Only the father and grandfather returned. There's no sign of the grandmother. Desperate, the mother asks Z's grandfather what happened, but he's too shaken to respond. He sits there, crushed by grief, completely unresponsive. She leaves him alone to try and calm down, heading outside to see what they brought back. When she opens the car, she finds just 2 cans of food, but something's wrong. There are bloodstains on the seat. Confused and scared, she goes back inside. The grandfather hasn't moved. He's still sitting in his room, in the same clothes, staring into space, refusing to speak to anyone. The mother takes baby Z for a short walk in the garden, hoping for a moment of peace. But suddenly, the rain begins to fall again, and she quickly hurries back inside. She's shocked to find the grandfather standing in the rain, staring into the downpour. She calls out to him, inviting him inside for some food and tea, but he refuses. "I'm just going for a walk," he says quietly. Her concern grows, so she rushes inside and wakes up her husband. She tells him his father is acting strange and went out alone, and that she's going to look for him. Before the husband can even take the baby, they both hear a loud gunshot. Terrified, the husband rushes outside and finds his father lying lifeless, having taken his own life. The weight of loss hits him hard, and he's left in shock. With no time to process the grief, the husband has to make another difficult decision. The family is running low on food, so he takes his wife and baby back to the food distribution center. The mother insists on going this time, convinced that people will show compassion because she's carrying a baby and give her what they need. But the husband refuses. He looks at her with deep sadness and anger, telling her, "In that same place, people trampled my mother to death, hungry and desperate. I won't go back there." In the end, they have no choice. The mother heads down to the food distribution center, and her heart sinks at the sight of the violent crowds fighting over scraps. People are desperate, pushing and shoving, all for a chance to get some food. Both she and her husband return empty-handed, wounded, and exhausted. They spend the night in the car, defeated and afraid. The next day, the weather starts to clear up just a little. The air feels a bit fresher, but the danger still looms. They decide to try a shelter, hoping to keep their child safe. When they arrive, they're met with a huge crowd waiting in line. The guards announce that the shelter is full. Only children will be allowed in, each with one family member. The husband looks at his wife and tells her, "Take Z inside. I'll wait out here. It'll be better soon." The mother can't bear the thought of leaving him behind. She refuses, saying, "We're a family. We stay together no matter what." But after seeing the hunger in her son's eyes and hearing her husband's insistence, she agrees. With a heavy heart, she enters the shelter with only baby Z, imagining that her husband is still right there beside her. Inside the shelter, the mother meets another woman with her young daughter. They quickly become friends, finding comfort in each other's company. The woman tells her, "The day my daughter was born 5 months ago was the same day my husband was released from prison. He didn't even know I was pregnant. When I told him, he rejected us both." The pain in her voice is clear. She explains that with the hurricane hitting soon after, she never had the chance to mourn or grieve what had happened. She was forced to move from one shelter to another, and this place was the best she had found. The mother listens carefully and then opens up about her own worries. "I don't even know if my husband is alive or dead," she says quietly. Her friend, moved by her words, offers to hold her baby for a while. "Get some rest. We'll take turns later," she promises. The mother nods gratefully, but her heart feels heavy. She walks over to the shelter's wall, her hands shaking as she bangs on it in frustration. Tears flood her eyes as she breaks down, unable to hold it in any longer. She imagines her husband standing just outside, wishing he could be there to hold her. That night, the baby cries nonstop, and the mother's anxiety makes it worse. Her friend, sensing the mother's stress, takes the baby into her arms and rocks him in her daughter's stroller, calming him down until he finally falls asleep. The two women spend time together, talking and getting to know each other better. The mother of the little girl shares the story of a friend who started a place called the Commune, a safe place for wealthy people on an island untouched by the hurricane. She tells the mother how much she wants to go there and invites her to join. As they talk, the mother's mind starts to wander. She can almost see her husband standing right in front of her, as if he were just a few feet away. The next morning, everything changes. Armed men attack the shelter and steal all the food. Chaos breaks out as everyone runs for safety. But through the panic, the mother spots her friend running in the opposite direction. Without thinking, she decides to follow her. The mother spots her friend getting into a car parked right in front of the shelter. Her friend's companions are quickly loading their belongings into the car, ready to escape. Without thinking twice, the mother jumps in, and both women beg the driver to take them for the sake of their children. But as they drive, something feels off. The women begin to get suspicious of the driver and his friend, so they ask to be let out. They get off halfway and continue walking on foot. All the mother can think about is that her husband will come back to the shelter, find it empty, and believe they're gone. She feels a knot in her stomach, knowing he might think they're dead. Her friend, trying to keep the mood calm, tells her that they now need to find a safe place with food. They've run out of everything. They walk from house to house, hoping to find something, but all the homes are empty. After what feels like forever, they finally meet a man cooking food outside his house. He agrees to share with them, them, offering a moment of kindness in their desperate journey. The man, his eyes filled with sadness, tells them about the hardest thing he's ever lived through. "I lost my whole family right in front of me," he says, his voice shaking. He explains that while fleeing the hurricane, his wife and 2 children fell off a bridge. He was standing at the end, helpless, as they disappeared beneath the rubble. He couldn't save them, and now he doesn't know where to go. The 2 women listen, their hearts heavy with grief for him. They ask him where the beach is, hoping to find the commune. He points the way and mentions a boat that might pass by there, though he's unsure if it still works. He also shares that he used to be wealthy and lived in the commune with his family. The next day, the man decides to go back to the shelter near the bridge, hoping that maybe someone is still alive there. "Maybe I'll find someone," he says, barely holding on to hope. Meanwhile, the mother and her friend keep walking toward the beach with their children tucked in bags. After what seems like an endless journey, they finally reach the beach, but there's no boat in sight. With no choice left, they decide to wait, hoping that something, anything, will come to help them. They stay on the beach for days, watching the empty horizon, hoping for a boat. The little girl's mother starts to cry, clinging to the belief that the boat will come. Her tears are a mix of fear and hopelessness. Z's mother tries to comfort her, but the weight of the situation is too much for both of them. One night, after hours of shivering from hunger and cold, Z's mother wakes up. She looks out at the ocean again, but still, there's no sign of the boat. Just as she turns back, she hears something in the distance, a sound that makes her heart race. It's a boat. Overcome with joy, she signals the boat, grabs her son, and shakes her friend awake. Together, they run toward the boat. When it finally reaches them, there's an elderly woman inside. They climb aboard, and the boat takes them to the commune. When they arrive, the people there welcome them with open arms, offering food and warmth. But even as she's surrounded by safety, Z's mother can't stop thinking about her husband. She wonders, is he dead or worse? Is he alive and still searching for her? The question gnaws at her, and the comfort of the commune feels distant compared to the fear of losing him forever. She can't stop imagining her husband standing on the beach, waiting for her. She remembers the first time they met, when he asked her out to dinner. She was nervous and told him, "I don't know you," but he smiled and said, "I don't know you either, but I want to have dinner with you." That's how their relationship started, and from that moment, they were together. As she talks to her friend, she shares how she was scared to get close to anyone when she first met her husband. She had just lost both of her parents and felt all alone, but he was different. He supported her, stood by her side through it all. They got married, and she dreamed of having a child with him. She thought it would give her hope and a reason to keep going. But now, since Z was born, everything has changed. Her fear grows every day, and she's so worried about her husband. She doesn't know if he's alive or if he's gone forever. Her friend tells her that maybe it's time to let go, to believe that he didn't survive the hurricane. It would be easier to move on that way. But Z's mother isn't sure if she's ready to accept that truth. Z's mother and her friend have found a new life on the island. They hear on the news that the hurricane is finally over, and the government has started rebuilding the destroyed cities. Communication networks are up again, allowing shelters to help families reconnect. The boat captain asks them to turn off the news, noticing that Z's mother is always lost in thought, her mind far away. One day, while they're walking on the beach, the captain gently advises Z's mother to consider everyone she loved and lost as gone, so she can focus on caring for her son. She tells her that they're lucky to be alive and safe, and gives her a comforting pat on the shoulder before walking away. Z's mother, still haunted by the past, goes into the sea. Every time she dives under, memories flood back. Her flooded home, giving birth all alone, and the fear that never left her. She can't hold it in anymore. She breaks down and screams into the water, overwhelmed with emotion. Later, when she tells her friend and the captain that she's decided to go back to the city and search for her husband, they are both shocked. She knows it's a risky journey, but her heart tells her she must try. Everyone tries to convince Z's mother to leave her baby behind in the commune until she returns, but she firmly refuses. They warn her that she doesn't know what the city is like now, and her baby could suffer from hunger again. Still, the mother insists that she cannot leave her son. She believes that even if she doesn't find her husband, she wants her son to one day know that she tried, instead of living with the regret of thinking, "I wish I had gone back." Her determination is so strong that the captain asks, "Where exactly do you want to go?" Z's mother cries and says she just wants to return home. Her friend begs her not to leave, saying she might die if she goes. But the mother replies, "Everyone dies eventually, no matter where they are. The best thing is to do what feels right." She believes staying behind is wrong, and that it would cost her the chance to reunite with her husband. Z's mother and her friend share a painful farewell. Her friend breaks down in tears, begging to be left alone. The mother hugs her tightly, telling her she loves her and thanking her for all the support before turning to leave. The captain takes Z's mother and her son by boat to the closest shore, and from there, she starts walking, carrying her son She struggles with each step, her feet hurting more and more as she walks. In her desperation and hunger, she stumbles upon a dead animal. With no choice, she eats it to survive. She tries to catch a vulture nearby, but it flies away. Along her journey, she meets a group of people in a car and asks for a ride, but they refuse to help. Acting defeated, she begins to walk away, but in a moment of quick thinking, she sneaks into the car and drives off while they try to stop her. After some time on the road, she and her son, now a little older, finally reach a town. There, she sees a man announcing volunteer work at a shelter in exchange for food and a place to stay. She joins the line, hoping for a chance to rest and find safety. Finally, she boards the bus to the shelter, feeling a small glimmer of hope. At the shelter, Z's mother feels both hope and sadness as she scans the wall full of photos and names of missing people. She searches desperately for her husband's face, but doesn't find it. Her heart sinks. After leaving the room, she takes her son to the roof and looks out at the broken city below. The once familiar streets are now in ruins. She sits down, trying to hide her pain, but her son's laughter makes her smile, even though tears start to fall. Later, she takes a boat through the city's wreckage, passing collapsed buildings and seeing the devastation everywhere. When she finally reaches her old home, now half destroyed, she stands in the doorway and shows her son the crib she had so carefully prepared for him. "This is our home," she says, brushing away a tear. "It's broken, but it's still ours, and it's still beautiful." She starts cleaning, trying to hold herself together. Then she hears a voice she knows so well, her husband's voice. She thinks she's imagining things, but when she turns, there he is, standing right in front of her. At that exact moment, her son, Z, stands up on his own and takes his first steps. Z's mother smiles through her tears and knows this is the start of something new. They have found each other again and are ready to rebuild their life together. What moment in this story made you feel the most hope and why? Let me know in the comments. So if you liked this, hit subscribe and turn on notifications for more recaps. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Warner Movie Recaps.